Okay, G, so you see the waffle iron is out again. So you know what time it is. Time to make one of my favorite breakfast treats. Kind of thick, because this is gluten-free flour that we're using, and I guess I let it sit around for too long, prepping the video. So, gonna close it. Hear that sizzle? We're gonna let that cook and see how we're gonna fix it up today. The green light is on, so let's check and see how it's doing. Ooh, that's beautiful. So I'm gonna plate this up and meet you in the studio. Okay, so we're back from the kitchen, G's, and I forgot to welcome you. Welcome back to G Free with Friends and Family, because I'm not gonna make another waffle and go into the kitchen. So this waffle is piping hot and ready for the butter, like my friend from the German bakery used to say. He didn't understand why Americans were so afraid of the butter. I miss him. Okay. I have construction going on outside my window. Well, in the street. But it might as well be right outside my window. So you might hear a little bit of noise. I have no idea what they're doing out there, but I see pipes. So I'm thinking that sooner rather than later, my water is going to be affected. So I wanted to get this done early so I could wash up my dishes. It's not that many, but still, I don't want them sitting around. Okay, that will melt. And, ooh, this is how we're dressing our waffle today, with Nutella. I love this stuff. I love it. That should be enough. Should be more than enough. Oh. Butter and Nutella. Once I made this chocolate sauce, and it was actually called chocolate butter, and I'm sure if you Google it, you can find a recipe for chocolate butter online. And I have to tell you that that stuff is like crap. It is so good and so addictive. I ate way too much of that stuff and it scared me. And I never made it again. It was that good. Put it on everything. I'll let you. Look at that. It's so good. You can taste the butter and the Nutella. There's this pesky fly. It's been in my house. It's driving me crazy. what is the lifespan of a fly? I didn't think they've lived that long. But this one has been a regular house guest, and I'm thinking of asking him for a little money for rent. It's crazy. This is good. I never should have bought that Nutella. Because Nutella on waffles with butter is absolutely ridiculous. There should be a law against it. But it is good. I didn't put that much on though, like maybe a little less than a tablespoon. This is good. And this is salted butter too. So, combination of the salt and the butter and the sweetness of the Nutella is like, oh, so good. I wonder why that is. Because you tend to think of salt and sugar as opposites, even though I don't think there's any such thing. But the savory and the sweet, it tastes so good. That's like the same combination that I like with my dry rub. It's the savory and the salty because there's salt in there. And then you add the brown sugar. And it does something. It like makes you feel a certain way. It goes right to the pleasure zone, you know? Yeah, it's kind of like lemonade. Because lemonade, I like tart lemonade, but it also has to be sweet. Not overly sweet, but you have to taste the sugar. So it's like you have the tartness, the sour, and then you have the sweet. And there's just something about that that is so good. That's what I meant to do when I had those mangoes. I think I'm going to get another one today. And make you guys a frozen mango lemonade. Oh! Maybe I'll make a couple of different kinds of lemonades. And do a taste test. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, when I make my waffles, I don't even use measurements. Sometimes I'll have an egg in there, sometimes I won't. But I always have a little baking soda, my gluten-free flour, a little sugar, sometimes I'll add cinnamon, and sometimes I'll add cocoa powder if I want a chocolate waffle. But there's like, I don't use measurements. I can tell you it's like about a cup of flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, you know, and depending on what you're going to put on it, maybe a teaspoon and a half of sugar. Oh, let's say 2 teaspoons of sugar. This is butter. And you could use any kind of liquid that you want. You could use milk or you could use water. Whatever you like. You can use whatever you like. That's my favorite T.I. song. Yeah. But waffles are really easy. Now, when I use the the waffle iron, I don't really care if the consistency is right for the waffles because it gets pushed down by the iron anyway. And sometimes if I let because it's gluten-free flour, if I let the batter sit around for a bit, it thickens up. Mm. Mm. That wasn't pretty. Mm. But with pancakes, you can't do that. So, if you're making pancakes instead of waffles, just pay attention to the consistency. Yeah, and I should have had a knife. Mm. I'm saving the piece that I think is the butteriest. Is that a word? Butteriest? I don't know. But I'm saving the piece that I think is going to be the most buttery. For last. That was a good piece too. Because I love that little bit of salt with the sugar. So good. That was it. Get this plate out of the way. And I'm going to leave you with this. Don't forget to count your blessings. Always remember that. Because you know what? It makes you feel better when you know, especially when things are going wrong and you have so many things going wrong. Settle yourself down and just think about all the things that are going right. And you'll usually find that there are more things going right than there are going wrong. Even though there could be lots of things going wrong, the good always seems to overpower that. So don't forget to count your blessings. Be a blessing to somebody else if you can. And be kind to yourself. Until next time.